One, Dana White's Contender Series. This is one of my favorite times of the year, and it shows because my excitement for this card is through the roof, and I love breaking down the prospects. So that's what we're doing today. We got a matchup between Kevin Szaflarski and Caio Machado. This is a heavyweight matchup, so it should be an interesting one. On Dana White's Contender Series, you often get a lot of good performances because people are trying to impress the boss. So you get some fun matchups. This one here is interesting. Both guys only one loss on their career. Both guys 5-0 in their last 5. So a lot of similarities in that. Very different fighting styles, though. We're going to start with the Szaflarski side. For Szaflarski, he's got good striking. He just kind of keeps his guard up, hands right here, and just works his jab. You know, keeps a steady pace, nothing too crazy. Doesn't push the pace. Just kind of keeps steady and works that jab, keeps that guard up, whatever. With the wrestling, he does a pretty decent wrestling. He'll stuff a takedown and then force his opponent up against the cage, wear on him there. If he does get on top, he's got a very heavy top pressure. But basically, his whole style is make opponents fight at his pace, keep it steady, not a high output, not a freakishly low output, just kind of right there, steady. And I like that about Szaflarski. He's able to do that to a lot of his opponents, win decisions or late finishes that way, just kind of wearing guys down, keeping them at his pace, and then lulling it to a victory. But he does it in a way that it's worked out really well for him being 11-1 on the career. Now, for a guy like Caio Machado, it's the opposite. He's very much an action fighter. He's going to come forward, throw in, think like Dricus style, Dricus Duplessis. Very similar to that, with the chin up, just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 as he comes forward. And he's going to do that. I don't like that so much because he leaves himself wide open to be hit, but the rest of his strikes look clean. He's got good front kicks and knees up the middle, snaps them to the body, which might be an open shot here because Szaflarski keeps his hands like right here. That body shot is open. If he starts sticking enough to the body, gets the hands lower, that might be opening the shot to the head or whatever. So his striking's pretty good. I think it looks cleaner than a guy like Szaflarski, but he's a very high-paced fighter, and I could see him also getting worn on by Szaflarski if it gets to the grappling. Well, he's got a good clinch in his own right. So on the clinch, he likes to just get those skip knees going right away. That's a little more difficult up against the cage, but he'd probably give it a go. He also strikes on the exit. So after he starts landing those skipping knees, and his opponent says, oh, screw this, I don't want this anymore, and tries to get out, well, he's striking on the exit, trying to land another shot, get that damage flowing. So for a guy like Machado, very much an active heavyweight. He's got that good heavyweight cardio. You don't see that a lot from heavyweights, but he's got it. If it ends up on the mat, he has decent jiu-jitsu. Being a Brazilian, you'd assume he has really good jiu-jitsu, but it's decent. It's definitely not his go-to. He's picking up some new skills as he comes along. In fact, his armbar is actually really quick. He's got 2 wins by armbar, both of them pretty quick, pretty easily set up. They weren't over the highest level of grapplers, so that could be that. But he does have a tendency to end up on top when other guys try to take him down, or if he's, pressuring somebody and then just kind of ends up on top. Doesn't have like the best takedowns, but he just ends up on top. If you get what I'm saying. If you've watched some of the tape on him, you understand. He's very much ground and pound before submission. That's what he favors, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just his style. Jiu-jitsu is his secondary thing. He's looking for the ground and pound first, then he's looking for the submissions, things like that. So for Machado and Szaflarski, it's going to be whoever can dictate the pace. Now this one is one of my. I have 3 fights on this that I kind of have a good lean on this week's of the Contender Series, and I have 2 that I don't have a hard lean on. I do think this one's going to depend a lot on that first round and who's dictating the pace. If Szaflarski's slowing it down, or if Machado's just up in that pace, that's going to decide kind of where this is going to go from there. For me, I do lean the Machado side. I think he's got the cleaner striking with the better output. I think that Szaflarski could wear on him and slow this fight down and get the win that way, but I'm going to take Machado in the matchup. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win this one? Do you think that Szaflarski's got this? He was scheduled to fight Jimmy Lawson last season on Contender Series, but somehow that didn't happen. He pulled out for whatever reason, and in steps, Carl Williams? Carl Williams goes in, beats Jimmy Lawson, and next thing you know, he's in the UFC. Well, that could have been Szaflarski, but it wasn't because he pulled out of the matchup. So now he's fighting Machado. Maybe this is the matchup he needed. We're going to find out on Dana White's Contender Series, Week 1, 2023. I'm stoked for it. Like this video if you've enjoyed yourself. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you on the next fight.